What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video for Sunday, August 27th. We are hopefully bringing you a very informative video. If you've never been here before, I think you're in for a treat. We do a lot of things here. We give away a lot of things. We go through every single game that is currently going to be played on the main slate and pretty much all day. Any slate you can play, we're going to look at those games. Anytime a video gets 50 likes, you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. Anytime a video gets 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month. 125 likes, you have a chance to win a free year. And 150 likes on any video, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass. I want to give away a lifetime pass today. So all I need you guys to do, if you find this video at all informative, hit that like button. Let's get to I know we can do a Sunday 150-day one, 150 like one. I know we can. So that being said, obviously we didn't have a video yesterday, so we are going to pick the winner from Friday's video for the free week of DFS content. So everyone who left a comment, you have a chance, and you have a chance to win every single day. So definitely make sure you come back, hit the bell notification, stuff like that. So the winner is Octavius Bailey. Super pissed, had a stack and was 1 second off from submitting my lineup. Had an A's stack. Yes, they did go off the other day, and stuff happens like that. So we are here for you. If you need anything, all you got to do is hit me up on email. It's dfshelp1, one is in the number, at gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter at advisors_team. If you already have an account on the website, let us know what the account name is, and we'll credit you for the week. If you don't, please let me know the email you want to use and the username you would like. So congratulations, Octavius. Just like everyone else, if you come back tomorrow, you have a chance to win every single day. So that being said, we do have a couple of games that aren't on the slates here. So we have this game here that this game is not on the slate. So this is, for whatever reason, this is that Peacock. Well, it's actually kind of early, but this game we're not able to play unless you play the main or the single game, which we are not going to cover. So we will look at that. We'll avoid this one, and then we'll avoid the last one, which is Sunday Night Baseball, that we can't play. So we will dig into these games, and what we'll do is we'll go through the pitchers. We'll look at them on DraftKings, and then we will build around there as well. And actually, at the end of this video, two things. Towards the end, we're going to show you we simulate 10,000 times, gives us the top plays for pitching and bats. In these videos, we go through the top 10 or 12, depending on what we like, through 2,000 simulations. So stick around for that. And then stick around at the end of this video. I'm going to preview what we've added to the NFL side of the FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So I added a bunch of pages on Friday. I'm going to get them rolling, and I would love your guys' feedback. So stick around towards the end, and you can definitely let us know. Also, would love to know if you guys are interested in a weekly DFS league, down below, our fantasy football league for DraftKings. In the description and the article that we have on the website, click that link and sign up for it. 200 spots available. I think we have 6 or 7 right now, so it will scale down if we don't hit to 200. But after 200 at $10 a person, top 5 places will pay. First place will be $580 every single week if we get 200 people. So that's going to be a weekly Sunday main slate league on DraftKings. So if you don't already have an account on DraftKings, let us know. We'll send you a referral link. Sign up, deposit some money, get in the league, and if you sign up using our link, you'll get a free month of DFS content. So we're going to dig into the first game we can actually play right now. First game, Rockies at the Orioles. You got Ty Blah, which is basically what I say when I see his name because I want nothing to do with him pitching-wise, against Jack Flaherty. Now, Flaherty has been, he's been pushed back. He's been scratched a couple of games. Whether or not he's 100% healthy, I don't know. That's what kind of scares me about this one. I'm probably avoiding both of the pitchers here. For sure, I'm just going to focus on the bats. So we're going to focus on the bats here, and we'll go from there. So we're not going to look at the pitching. I don't want anything to do with this. I don't trust Flaherty to be healthy enough to go because he was supposed to pitch like Wednesday or Thursday, and he's been pushed to Sunday now. So this is one where I'm a little bit weary on, but you never know. So we'll dig into the numbers a little bit. We'll see which bats we do like. I'll give you a hint. It's going to be majority Orioles, but we will have some Colorado looks anyway. So if we aren't going with Flaherty because I don't trust him to be healthy or whatever the problem was, I would look at Nolan Jones. I don't mind him. I like Ryan McMahon in this situation. Brendan Rodgers is a good option here if he's in. Diaz would be one, but again, Sundays, if you guys have been with us for a while, you know that Sundays are the days of rest for not only the Lord, but most of the catchers. So this is one definitely to see if he's even going to be in there, but I don't mind him if he is in there. If it's a flip side and then it's wins instead, I'm probably not taking him. I would look at Charlie Blackmon a little bit. I would look at Montero and Brenton Doyle just a little bit as well. And then since we are not going with Ty Blah, like I said, I would be looking at Gunnar Henderson. I don't mind if it's a righty and lefty matchup. Same thing. I love Mountcastle here. I would look at him. I would look at Santander, who's been on fire lately. We've used him, and he's been on fire. I would look at Rushman, another switch hitter. Jorge Mateo would be a cheap option, but he does have a lot of blue, so he's probably only a tournament option. Just depends. And then maybe a little bit of Cedric Mullins as well. So I'm going to be avoiding both of these pitchers. I'm going to be looking at the bats instead. Next one, Dodgers at the Red Sox. You got Caleb Ferguson versus Tanner Houck. So we dig in a little bit. Caleb Ferguson's all the way down here. I believe is he going to be an opener? Yeah, so he's an opener. So we're not using him. So that stinks. So he's going to be the opener. And then he's facing Tanner Houck here, who is right up here at 7,100. Looking at this, game log wise, he went 5 innings. I mean, that's kind of what you're looking at. He's going up against the Dodgers. He has not faced them. So he's faced 12 total, so not much. He's pitching at home, which he has a 5.75 ERA compared to a 4.42 on the road. Probably another one I wouldn't be using, especially against this Dodgers team. So pretty much who I'd be using in this game would be the offenses. I would be obviously Mookie Betts at the top. I'd be looking at Freddie Freeman. Depending on the outfield that the Dodgers do throw out of there, I would look at Outman, Peralta, Hayward, just kind of look if they're in there. I would also be looking at Max Muncy as well. And then on the flip side of that with the Red Sox, Trevor Story, I don't mind. Again, Caleb Ferguson's going to be probably 1 inning, maybe 2 if he has a good game or good start, I should say. But I would be looking at Trevor Story. I'd be looking at Jarren Duran. I'd be looking at Tristan Casas. Verdugo has homered in 2 of the games against his former team, so you could be looking at that. I think 2, right? Yeah, I believe Friday and Saturday he did both. So you could be looking at that. Just depending on who else is out there. Yoshida, I don't mind for the Red Sox. Depending, it could be Ref Snyder too, if Ferguson or another lefty comes in after them. So I'll be avoiding both of these pitchers. I will be looking at the offenses, though. Next game, Cubs at the Pirates, Javier Assad versus Bailey Falter. So Assad was supposed to pitch on Saturday, but they called up someone else. I don't know why, but yeah, he's got a decent matchup against Pittsburgh on the road. Game logs coming off at his price at 6,700. We're looking at about 13.9 and up is what we'd kind of hope for in this situation. Splits-wise, he hasn't faced Pittsburgh this year. He's made a total of 5 starts. He is pitching on the road. He's only made 2 starts on the road. 2.39 ERA, so it's been pretty good. Problem is he's given up some home runs in games. We're looking probably is going to be about 4 strikeouts is going to be what you would expect out of him. He's had 1 5-strikeout game coming out of the bullpen, and that's it. So, if you're doing sports bets, over, under, probably 3.5 strikeouts would be the mark that I would look at here. So I don't mind Assad in tournaments, but I'd rather probably take the Pirates bats, and we'll look at those bats that I'm talking about. Then you got Bailey Falter. I don't really want anything to do with him. They're basically the same price. Game log, he had 6 innings against St. Louis, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts, 28.5. So he had his best game of the year there at 28.5. People are going to see that, and they're probably going to go with him. But I think I want to look at some of the Cubs bats when we talk about that. So when you're looking at an opposing pitcher that is a lefty that's going to go at least 5 innings, that's probably going to see at least 2 to 3 times around the order, I'm looking at Cubs bats here. So Patrick Wisdom is a tournament-only pick for me. He's either home run or bust for the most part. If I'm stacking the Cubs, I would look at Chris Morel. I would look at Suzuki. I would definitely look at Dansby Swanson against a lefty, Ian Happ against a lefty, Jeimer Candelario being a switch hitter. I would look at him versus a lefty, Nico Horner. Yan Gomes is probably in there. There's not too many of these Cubs bats that I don't like against Bailey Falter. And then if you're going to go on the other side and you're not going to go Assad and you want to look at Pirates bats, Ke'Bryan Hayes has been heating up lately. I would look at Jack Sawinski. I would look at Brian Reynolds here. Andrew McCutchen for sure. Maybe if you want to go very contrarian, Alika Williams you could look at if he's in. I don't mind him. Maybe a little bit of Connor Joe. Probably Connor Joe is only a tournament option for me, though. Next game we've got the Cardinals at the Phillies. Drew Rom versus Aaron Nola. Absolutely love Aaron Nola. He's the picture of the video and article for a reason. Drew Rom never faced this before because he's making his second career start. So this is where I am different than the other big DFS people. I will admit when I'm wrong. I was all over Drew Rom his start against Pittsburgh because he was $4,000. Pretty much you couldn't go wrong there unless he got negative points. And, of course, he went minus 3 points. 3.2 innings, 8 earned runs there. Going up against Philly, there's no way I'm taking him. I'm not looking at any of the Cardinals bats. I'm looking at Aaron Nola, and I'm looking at the Phillies offense here. So Nick Castellanos had a 3-run home run yesterday. I would look at him. Brandon Marsh, I believe, had a 3-run home run yesterday. He is back now. I would look at him against the lefty. Kyle Schwarber, I don't mind him. Bryce Harper, I don't mind. But I am going to be focusing on Phillies righty bats against the lefty. So that would be Marsh, Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, Real Muto, Nick Castellanos are the ones that jump out to me first. If you want to go secondary stacks, you want to try and go a little bit lower owned than others, Rodolfo Castro I would look at. I would look at he's a really cheap option. Bryson Stott's a cheaper option. I would look at him. Edmundo Sosa, I don't mind. Again, I don't know who's going to be starting. I will focus on the bigger names for Philly. I don't want anything to do with Drew Rom. I don't want anything to do with the Cardinals offense here. Guardians at the Blue Jays, you got Noah Syndergaard versus Yusei Kikuchi. So looking at this, Noah's down here, 5,500. Game logs, he had a pretty good game against his former team, the Dodgers. 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks, 1 walk, only 12.5, but he did get at least double his price. And then he's had a bad game against Cincy, a good game against Toronto, which he just faced them 2 weeks ago. We could look at that. Splits-wise, yeah, he went 5.2 innings there, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, 2 walks. 19.4 fantasy points. If he didn't have those 2 walks, he was probably looking at, I can't remember how many minus points you get for a walk, but he was looking at over 20. So, that being said, yes, Noah Syndergaard for tournaments, I'm okay with. But again, Toronto, it's because they've been striking out against righties quite a bit, but now that Bichette's back, it's a little bit lower, but they're still striking out at a good clip. That at 5,500, yeah, Syndergaard makes a good tournament option there. And then on the flip side of that, you want to go with Kikuchi here. He is up here at 8,900. Game log, 11.7 there. He did just face Philly not too long ago and had a good game against Philly. He had almost an identical game against Cleveland there. Okay game against Baltimore. A really good game against the Dodgers. So he's faced Cleveland 1 time this year. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 1.29 ERA, 23.4 fantasy points. I don't mind him for cash. I will look at Kikuchi for cash. I will look at Syndergaard for tournament. So if you're not using either of those and you want to look at the bats that we could be looking at here, obviously if you're talking about the Guardians, you're talking about Jose Ramirez. I would look at Jose Ramirez. I would look at Bo Naylor. I would look at Ramon Laureano. He's usually in there against lefties, so he would be an option I would look at. Will Brennan as well. But, yeah, there's not a lot to like about the Guardians. And then if you aren't taking Syndergaard and you are taking the Toronto Bats, I'd be looking at Chapman, Guerrero, Bichette, Springer. Brandon Belt's been on fire for us. I would look at Dalton Varsho. I'm guessing Danny Jansen probably sits today. Kiermaier a little bit, maybe Whit Merrifield too. So that's what I would look at in this game. Tournament for Syndergaard, cash for Kikuchi, and then both sides of the bats there, for sure. Then you got the Astros at the Dodgers. You got Verlander facing his old team. I know Verlander's been up and down this year. 28 plate appearances against him, 259 batting average. He is expensive at $11,000. Had a really good game against Boston. I think he could probably have a similar game to 31. I'm not going to say he's going to get 31 plus fantasy points there because he was only 9,500. So he made sense at 9,500. But now he's priced up here against Detroit. He's faced them once this year already. 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Let's see, was that in Detroit? It's not going to show. Oh, no, it was at his first start of the year. So I won't take that against him. He obviously was hurt to start the year and missed the first month. Then he came in, went 0-2 there. They lost 2-0. So I would look at Verlander here. I know he's expensive. He's $11,000. If you are going to pay up that much, I do like Nola better than I like Verlander here, but I will have a little bit of exposure to Verlander. And then Alex Faedo here against Houston, I don't want anything to do with. He's been okay, 7,900. It's kind of expensive for him. He is getting 4, 5, 6 strikeouts there. Splits-wise, hasn't faced Houston this year. Pitching at home, he does have a 5.65 ERA, so I would definitely be looking at the bats in this one. So I will have exposure to Verlander here. And then I don't really want anything to do with Faedo. I would look at Yordan, Diaz if he's in, Kyle Tucker if he's in, Bregman, Chas McCormick, Jose Altuve. And if you're not going with Verlander, you think he's going to, kind of get hit hard, the batters I would focus on in this would be Torkelson, Green, Parker Meadows, which is Austin Meadows' brother, which is pretty cool. They play on the same team, kind of like the Upton brothers. Kerry Carpenter, I would look at. That would probably be it. That would probably be the bats that I would look at for the Tigers. So I'm more focused on the Astros as a stack and Verlander as a pitcher, but I will have some exposure to the Tigers bats, but not a ton. Then you got the Nationals at the Marlins. You got Trevor Williams versus JT Chargois or Chargois. Williams, 87 plate appearance, 247. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. That's for sure here. Looking at his game logs, he had a really good game against Philly, which makes no sense. And then he had a very bad game against Oakland, which makes no sense. Then a not a good game against Philly, which makes sense. Against the Mets, not a good game. He's been very up and down. He has a 4.95 ERA, so it's up there. He's faced Miami twice this year already. 10.1 innings, 12 hits, 8 earned runs, almost a 7 ERA. I would definitely be stacking Miami here. And then, let's see. Is this an opener situation? Yep, so he's going to be opening. So you're not going to be looking at him. So I am definitely taking a look at maybe the bats in both of this, but let's take a gander real quick. So if you're not going with either pitcher, Carter Kieboom I would look at if he's in there. I would look at Lane Thomas. I would look at Joey Meneses. Keibert Ruiz for the Nats. Maybe Jake Alou might be a cheap option. Let's see how cheap Alou is. Jake Alou is $2,400. He'd be a cheap option. I don't know how much I'd actually go with him, but he would be one. And then if you want to look at the Marlins bats here, which I would against Trevor Williams, I would look at Jake Berger. I would look at Jazz. I would look at Jesus Sanchez. Jorge Soler had a bomb, absolute missile on Friday. Josh Bell didn't hit a home run for us on Friday, because we took him in a parlay. Of course, then he went off and hit one on Saturday. So I would look at him. Luis Ariza should always be an anchor in your Miami lineup when you're stacking against a pitcher. So I'm not going to have either pitcher. I'll be more heavily stacked on Miami, but I will have a couple of stacks of the Nationals bats. Then you got the Yankees at Tampa Bay. This is the rubber match. See who takes the series. Carlos Rodon versus Zach Littell. Rodon, 34 plate appearance, 240. We don't know which one. We do not know which Rodon we're actually going to get is the problem. So let's take a look. So it looks like, Chargot will be the opener and then Luzardo will be the pitcher, which he is a lefty here. Went 6 innings the last start. We had a really good game against San Diego. So people are going to see that he's not the starter. And then I kind of would put him in there a little bit for Luzardo. But saying that, we're going to look at these games here. Rodon is 7,700, coming in with 6.27 ERA. Did have, which is crazy, one of his second best start. 6 hits allowed in 6 innings against the Nats. 1 earned run, 1 K, and they ended up losing that game. His best game came against the Mets before he got hurt a little bit versus Houston. So you really don't know who you're going to get, and they're facing Tampa Bay at home. I'm probably avoiding Rodon, especially at his price. And then looking at Littell here. He's actually gone in 5 innings or so. It's crazy, though. You could look at him at 6,000 because the Yankees offense has been so bad pretty much all year that a guy like Littell could have a no-hitter going in like the 6th inning. So I would definitely be probably looking at him for tournaments. I'm not looking at Rodon, and I'd probably be looking at the bats. The bats that I'd be looking at, obviously Aaron Judge. Everson Pereira is going to be a cheap option still. I would look at him. DJ LeMahieu had a fantastic Friday, had 2 home runs in that game, and their dominating win. I would look at him. I would look at Glaber. I would look at Volpe. Volpe had his first day off of the year, Saturday. Didn't play. First game he hadn't played, which is crazy to think about, but this first game he has not played. So as a rookie, that's pretty impressive. I would look at him. IKF, if he's in there. I don't know if he will be. I would look at Oswald Peraza as well. And then if you're using Tampa Bay against Rodon, which you probably should, I would be looking at Diaz, Arozarena, Luke Raley. Those 3 are at the top I would look at. I would look at Jose Siri or Josh Lowe, Paredes. And if you want to get real tournament plays, Harold Ramirez, I would look at. Basabe, if that's how you say his name, I would look at them as well. So that's this game. Avoiding Rodon. We'll have a little bit of Littell here, but I'll have stacks on both sides. Then we got the Rangers at the Twins. You got Jordan Montgomery versus Bailey Ober. Montgomery's up here at 9,400. Game logs, couple of good games against Arizona and then LA. He's facing Minnesota, which he has not faced this year. In his career, 58 plate appearances facing Minnesota when he was with the Yankees. So you could look at that. But, splits-wise, he's on the road. He is actually better on the road at 293. So he's actually pretty good there. Same amount of home runs, just a little bit less Ks. So I do not mind a Jordan Montgomery. At 9,400, I think I'd probably pay that more than I'd pay 9,600 for Luzardo. Probably don't want to pay 9,200 for Bailey Ober either. So looking at that, I guess Bailey Ober here against Texas, which I don't trust enough. Yeah, I mean, he's gotten 10, but you need more than that. Splits-wise, hasn't faced Texas this year, pitching at home. Does have a 3.07 ERA. And you pretty much know who you should be taking with the Rangers, but if you don't know, now you know. So we'll look at those. We'll look at the matchup here and see, but it's Marcus Semien at the top. It's Corey Seager probably batting second. I'd look at Adolis Garcia, had a monster home run on Saturday. I would look at him. I would look at Taveras, Ezekiel Duran, Nate Lowe, and Jonah Heim for the Rangers bats. And then if you're not going with Jordan Montgomery, I would definitely look at Ryan Jeffers against the lefty if he's in. Donovan Solano, I don't mind. Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa, Edward Julian, I would look at. Michael A. Taylor, I would look at. and a little bit of Max Kepler in this situation. So I'd rather take Montgomery, though, and avoid Bailey Ober, and then stack the Rangers. Then you got the Athletics at the White Sox. You got Paul Blackburn versus Mike Clevenger. So let's see. Blackburn here against the White Sox game logs. He didn't do too bad against Kansas. We actually used Paul Blackburn his last 2 starts. One against St. Louis, one against Kansas City. Would have loved to get more than 18.5, but we'll take what we can get. Splits-wise, he's faced the White Sox once this year. 5 innings, 5 earned runs, 9 ERA. Probably not looking at that. He is pitching on the road, which is Chicago. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but apparently a bullet either almost hit someone or hit somebody at the White Sox game on, was it Saturday or was it Friday? I don't know, but that's wild. They thought someone was shot from inside the stadium, but it might have been a bullet someone shot in the air, and it landed in the stadium, which is absolutely wild of a thing to do. But anyway, yeah, probably not using Blackburn here. On the road, he is worse at 4.29, like I said, so I'm probably going away from there, steering away there. Then the White Sox, Mike Clevenger, I don't trust him enough, especially for cash, but tournaments, he had a bad game against Seattle, had a good game against the Cubs and the Yankees, and Cleveland, his old team. So splits-wise, he hasn't faced Oakland this year. It's Oakland, though, so tournaments, I don't mind him. I honestly don't mind him in tournaments. At 7,500, that's a pretty decent price for tournaments. That's what I would look at there. So if you want to look at the bats real quick, take a little gander. If you aren't using Clevenger, Ryan Noda, Brent Rooker, Zach Geloff I would look at, Seth Brown, Shea Langoliers, but again, catcher, we don't know if they're going to be there. Those would be pretty much maybe Ruiz and Tony Kemp a little bit, but I doubt it. Those would be what I'd look at in Oakland. And then the White Sox bats, I would look at Eloy, I would look at Andrew Vaughn, I would look at Luis Robert Jr., maybe a little bit of Benintendi, maybe Trace Thompson as well in this situation. I don't love this game. There are just other games that we could look at, but that's what I would do in this situation. Then the Padres at the Brewers, you've got Michael Wacha versus Adrian Hauser, which I believe is the afternoon slate here. If it loads. Oh no, is this game not on there? Oh no, it's here. Okay. I was going to say. So Michael Wacha is actually 10,100 for some reason. I don't know why. Had a couple of good games here. Was obviously out for a month. Was out for a stretch here. Then came back. Then was out for over a month. When he's in and healthy, he's a good pitcher. It just depends if you're going to get that. So looking at him here, splits-wise, has faced Milwaukee once this year, 4.1 innings, 7 earned runs, 14.54 ERA. Pitching on the road, he's worse on the road. So I'm probably staying away, especially at this price at 10,100. I don't think I want to pay that for Wacha. And the way Milwaukee's been playing, they've been killing it this year. So looking at him, or at this team, I'm probably avoiding, and then you got Adrian Hauser. Probably avoiding both of these pitchers and just looking at the offenses. So Adrian Hauser, we can look real quick. Game logs. He did a pretty good game against Texas and LA. So he's had some good matchups that he should have lost, and he's done well. 6,800. He hasn't faced San Diego. I'd throw him in tournaments just because he's been doing good against good teams. But if you're not going that way, I'd look at Juan Soto. I'd look at Tatis, Machado, Trent Grisham, Kim. That's what I'd look at. And then if Brewers, the way they've been playing, I would look at Yelich. I would look at Contreras. I would look at Carlos Santana, Willie Adames. Those would be the bats that I'd look at here against Michael Wacha. So avoiding Wacha due to his price, I will have a little bit of Hauser, and then I'll look at the offenses a little bit more too. Reds at the Diamondbacks is not on the main slate. It is on the afternoon slate. So in this matchup, We've got Graham Ashcraft versus Slade Ciccone, like I said, Jabroni. His last start, he did okay. He did get double the points, so he did what he needed against Texas. Splits-wise, hasn't faced Cincy this year. Playing in Arizona, which is a Coors Field Junior, they say. He's only started 2 games. He's never started a game at home, so his ERA is a little bit. I don't trust it. K-wise though, yeah, you're looking at 4. You're not looking at a ton of strikeouts. I'm probably avoiding him. I'm probably not even, honestly, if you want the truth, probably not going to play this slate, but I'm giving you guys the information. I might take Graham Ashcraft. We used him against the Angels his last start. Amazing. 29.6. He was 8,400. Now they've dropped him down to 8,200. Pitching on the road, he is better on the road. So I don't mind Graham Ashcraft here. I would use him over. Yeah, I would definitely use him over the other dude. And then if you want to look at the bats real quick, just depending. I would be looking at Ellie. I would be looking at Will Benson, Matt McClain, Senzel. That would probably be it. And then flip side, if you're not taking Graham Ashcraft, I would look at Ketel Marte, who had a home run yesterday. I would look at Corbin Carroll, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Christian Walker. Cheaper options for them. Jace Peterson is an option I would look at. Bunny Kennedy is an option I would look at. Alec Thomas is an option that I would look at. So avoiding Slade, looking at Graham, looking at the offenses here on both sides. But I think this would be a tournament only. But I'm not playing this 2-game slate anyway. Then the Royals at the Mariners. We saw absolute domination out of the Mariners on Saturday. I think they had like 7 or 8 home runs, which is wild. Luis Castillo would be the number 1 pitcher on this small slate. Coming off a good game against the White Sox. He's faced Kansas City 1 time this year, 7 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. He should have a good matchup here against Kansas City, but they've been hitting the ball when they needed to. So confused on that, but definitely will look at Castillo on this slate here. The bats wise, if you're not going Castillo, MJ Melendez I would look at, Bobby Witt Jr. I would look at, Salvador Perez, Michael Massey. Maybe a little bit of Drew Waters. Just depends. And then I think people are going to be piling up on the Cubs or piling up on the Mariners because of what they did yesterday, which I think might be safe. Julio I would look at. Hernandez I would look at. Mike, like I said in yesterday's article, so I didn't have a video, but I had an article and our bets. I put Mike Ford as a home run bet, and he hit a home run. I would go back to the well there. I would look at Cal Raleigh, who also had a home run. Look at Big Dumper there. I would look at J.P. Crawford and Dylan Moore for bats in this game here. And then that's it, guys. That is the mains. That is all of it. That's the games that we can play that aren't single games. Obviously, in this, I would be looking at any of the Braves bats. And then Schuster against a very depleted Giants team that just put Conforto on the IL, I believe either late Friday or early Saturday morning. So there's that. We are going to go over real quick the top bats and pitchers through 2,000 simulations. So you can write this down or rewind this if you need. It actually has Whit Merrifield as number 1, which this will probably change. Has Aaron Judge, Bo Bichette, Brandon Belt, Shohei Ohtani, Luis Robert Jr., Dalton Varsho, George Springer, Adley Rutschman, and Bryson Stott. So out of the top 10, 5 of them are Toronto bats. And then the rest are New York, LA, Angels, 1 White Sox, 1 Baltimore, and 1 Philly bat. So depending on when you watch this video, it's probably updated by now. Through however many simulations we've done since you've been here. So definitely check it out. It is part of the premium content, but we do have it on the website. And then pitchers to look at here. Aaron Nola, number 1. Justin Verlander, number 2. It does have Griffin Canning number 3, which we can't use because it's the very early game. Montgomery, Yusei Kikuchi. It has Bailey Ober, Mike Clevenger, Zach Littell, and Adrian Hauser for the first 2,000 simulations. We will update them throughout the day. And again, right before lineup lock at noon, the main slate or whatever time zone you're in, it'll be 10,000 simulations by then. So like I said at the beginning of this video, that is it. But I wanted to show you what we've brought to the table for the NFL season, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So I've updated a few things. We will be going through everything. But so the NFL tab has been updated a little bit. I'm going to be bringing the NFL season projections in this week, and I'll tweet that out. And I don't know if I'll do a video on it because it'll be season long, but I'll definitely have that there. The Vegas odds is new. That includes, it's not new, but it's revamped. So it'll have the opening, it'll have the closing, and it'll have everything. So let me refresh. Hold on one sec. Okay, for whatever reason, I need to sign out and sign back into OneDrive to get everything showing, but I will do that. But I wanted to show you what we have here. So under the NFL tab, and I'm going to go through all of these real quick, but NFL DF cheat sheet. So we'll look at that. We'll look at the Bacon Station. We'll look at the NFL DFS chalk. We have our wide receivers versus cornerback matchups, and we also have our NFL prop bets as well. So cheat sheet, I've showed this off somewhere. I can't remember where I showed it off to you guys, but I wanted to show you this. And we'll go through this. So we have a main slate cheat sheet. We'll talk about during the week. This is part of FTA Plus. You can get $24.99 for a month, and that includes every single sport. Or you can get the yearly pass using promo code NFLVIP. Get $100 off of that right now. It'll include DraftKings, Fanduel, projections, all of that. Bringing our Bacon rating over from the NASCAR tab. People have been liking that. And any notes that we might have. So this is the main slate. We've got all the positions there that we like. Showdown, Captain, Flex, stuff like that. Showdown for Fanduel. Then the lineups are going to be in this spot too. So we will have, and this is what we've done for the past 7 years. We've been around for 9. This is kind of what we've done. We'll have one cash lineup and one GPP lineup for every slate that is on Sunday. So Sunday main, Sunday 1 p.m., Sunday afternoon. I might even add Sunday, Monday. It just depends. Sometimes we do. It just depends how many people actually like that idea. So if that is the case, we'll add another tab. We'll add another couple boxes here. Same thing with DraftKings. You got the Sunday main, Sunday 1 p.m. only, afternoon only slate, or 4 p.m. I think it's called 4 p.m. slate here. This will be updated to DraftKings thing. So that is the cheat sheet for NFL. That is also the optimal lineups and stuff like that. Then we added NFL chalk, which I think you guys are going to like, but this is FanDuel chalk for the main and DraftKings chalk for the main. So what we'll do is we run the simulations, we run the some stats and stuff like that. We'll run that through. Once we find out, we'll go possibly the top 10 at each position. That is chalk. So chalk means use those for cash. And if you want tournaments, this is a way to see the top positions, see how much they are, see the ownership, and then go a different route by finding different plays or leveraging the field to take the money down. So that is what we're looking at here. That'll be updated as well. Just depends. Since it's week 1, it depends. It's probably going to be updated Fridays or Saturdays of the NFL season, because we can run the simulations. You can kind of get a feel with the simulations when you usually run like a Thursday lineup out there, and then you can kind of see the ownership percentages. And obviously percentages are a ballpark, but when you kind of see what direction the people are going, with a Thursday slate and see, they got to play Thursday through Sunday or Thursday through Monday, whatever the slate is. You kind of get a feel for the ownership percentages. That is why we'll probably wait till about Saturday to update this, but it will be very helpful. It's new to the channel or new to the website, so if you like it, let us know. Then we've got the wide receiver versus cornerback matchup. Don't know if this is going to be useful for you guys, so we'll look at this and we'll update it if we need to. And then our matchup tool. You guys have been here before. We've done this every year. This is a ton of information. I will be going over this in our videos weekly. So this is what takes me a very long time. I handpick this. I go through and we do this every single week. So if you guys know of a easier way to import stats like this to match up with the players, definitely let me know. But this is our world famous DFS matchup tool in our bacon station. So that's what I've got for you guys. Anything else, let us know down below. Good luck on this amazing Sunday. Hopefully you guys have some great weather. We'll be back tomorrow with a video. And let's bring home some bacon. Peace!